And with that, it's time to do this. What's going on, Arizona? Your boy is home. Happy to be happy-ish to be back home, but happy to be back with you guys here on the recap. We are going to talk about all things USSSA State Championship. Last week, round one, the men's C and the men's D divisions. We'll talk about how things went down and the crowning of familiar champions. And then we will take a look as well at what is to come this weekend. The men's BC, a little light on the C's. The women's BC and the women's D division. And I got to tell you right from the jump, very disappointed this week. Not as broad as we were expecting. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. And I think anyone who is packing a bag this weekend, they know exactly why this weekend, the look of it, not at all what we were hoping for this weekend state championship. And then we'll also take a look at my picks to win state championships this weekend. I didn't do too bad last week. We'll see how we do here this week, and we'll talk about the gentlemen that you see on the screen in front of you as they left with some hardware this past weekend. We'll get things started, though, with a few of our sponsors. The Collins Law Firm, the biggest sponsor of the Roundtable. If you are in need of legal advice, be sure to ask Ernie and Sam all things accidents, contracts, injuries, business law, insurance, landlord, or tenant. They're ready to take care of you and yours best way possible. Info at thecollinslaw.com or give them a buzz 480-534-3787 for the Collins Law Firm, proud sponsor of many a teams, but yours truly here at the recap. Fast Lane Plumbing. Shout out to my man David Lane and his crew. Hey, you can't argue with results. About 2 years into the game, Fast Lane Plumbing living up to its name. They are fast. They are reliable. Best plumbing services from Queen Creek to Surprise. Your plumbing needs will be in good hands with their trusted, licensed, and insurance team, combining exceptional customer service and expert consultation and inquiries on the road to getting the job done right the first time. Head on over to flplumbingaz.com to check out the 5-star reviews. And while you're there, request a quote. If you have any additional questions, give David and his team a call at 480-292-6110. Fast Lane Plumbing, proud sponsor of the recap. Also, our friends over at Rogue Auto Glass, innovative technology, experienced technicians, quality products, simple process, mobility, and the best word of them all, that guarantee. Head on over to azrogueautoglass.com to see about an insurance quote or even a cash quote, and their expertise expands beyond just your windows. Along with auto glass replacement and repairs, they handle chip repairs, ADAS calibration, window tinting, and mobile detailing. Drive away with confidence. Hit up Heather Shaw and her crew at Rogue Auto Glass, 480-815-7400. And finally, Drip Sports Apparel. They've got the hot deals going on. Jerseys starting at $25, full set $55, and you can get 2 full sets for $100. They've got hats, they've got shorts, all kinds of great apparel. Haven't seen them out there yet with a trailer of any kind, but I know Nugget and his crew doing it big online, so you can get with them as well. www.dripsportsapparel.com. Let them know that your boy The Voice sent you. All right. Worlds is right around the corner in the sense of USSSA D and E, and things get started August 22nd through the 24th, much earlier than what we're used to by a couple weeks, but Vegas is always lit. So get your team registered. Let's get out there. Let's make some noise. I got to find some time to look at the schedule as a whole. I know there's a lot of things going on. Come World season, we're in the midst of Triple Crown season. Teams are starting to heat up, trying to figure your rosters out. I believe the same rules apply that were last year, where if you were playing in one division, you cannot play in both. Obviously, the D&E, self-explanatory, same trip. But if you were on a C team and a D team, you're going to have to make a tough choice. Again, I'll probably get with Bob, because he does a good job of relaying that information on to me as we get close. But I believe that's going to be the same route that they're running with that. Make your decisions. Don't get caught acting up out there in Vegas. Never a good look when we get back home, but get yourself together. Worlds is right around the corner. But before we get there, let's take a look at what we got here in the desert. I'm back on the mic this weekend, handled my business. I'm back home. And this weekend, the USSSA Men's C and D, no, I should have changed that. That already took place. It's going to be the Men's BC, the Women's BC, the Women's D, all getting after it this weekend. I believe there's some co-ed scheduled on Sunday as well, because I don't recall seeing anything from this past weekend, but that's what we got going this weekend. Next weekend, last one standing, all-nighter, Victory Lane. It will be the Men's C and the Men's D divisions. We had some good competition out at Victory Lane a couple weeks ago. We'll be transitioning into GSL. And again, that is huge in that Men's D division. More so, I think it's going to be huge in the Men's E division as well. But no E division next weekend. GSL E's is going to have to wait. But next weekend, the D's will get back after it. BCO was your champion a couple weeks ago. I called on them to win it. Again, power-laced team. GSL fits them a lot better, and we will find that out firsthand next weekend. And then, of course, states not too far away. All right, and there's a look at the calendar for July. The August calendar should be coming out soon because, again, I don't know what is going on as far as GSL states. And, of course, is there going to be a Far West regional this year to complete the Triple Crown with how early things are for D&E Worlds? It'll be very, very interesting to see how the rest of the calendar plays out, and I will definitely be keeping an eye on that, and we'll be getting you updated here in the coming weeks. But my man Bob Fuller, all over it. As you can see, get your team registered, bob.fuller@USSSA.org. And he's quick to respond on Facebook. If you got a question for him, hit him up. The response is probably going to be 3 words or less. He's quick with it, but he'll definitely get you taken care of. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend, my man. All right, let's get right into the brackets here for this weekend. We'll talk about what happened this past weekend and, of course, predictions. I'm letting you know who to bet on DraftKings for this weekend state championships. But the Men's BC is not very congested this weekend at all. We've got action with 4 total teams. We've got, the mainstays in the B, Classy, Standard Plumbing, and MAJ, and then no C teams at all. But they do have the BCO from the Men's D division coming out to play. It's a hard conversation when we talk about the upper divisions because there's just not as many teams. And then teams are getting put together, and then they're not winning many games, and then the teams are breaking up, and then you're seeing talent spread all over the place. no C teams. I can't remember the last time we had a BC states where there were no C teams at all. I think they handled their business last week, and so be it. This is what comes with the bumps and the quote unquote chasing of the clout. You're gonna lose out on more teams. Why would a C team play B when they literally just played last weekend and won 15? Exactly. And I think we've had that discussion here on the show for years. It is a very tough sell. When you get these teams that have already been out there, already doing their thing. The C division has gotten bigger, though it didn't show in the total numbers last week, but they're still doing enough where they want to have their own run at it. And of course, we've got some very, very good B teams. It makes it very tough for those teams to want to go head to head with them in such a form, despite the fact that they're getting double points. I know, shout out to the BCO though. Besides the fact that Ryan Baldonado should already be playing on a B team, I'm sure he will be leading that squad out there to have a few more home runs to hit. I think they've got a decent defense. My knock on the BCO for the longest has been stability on the mound here this year. It has not looked as good as it did last year. Them boys can still hit. They've got talent that they keep bringing along after that team was number 2 in the E's last year. They were number 2 in the E's this time last year, and they are making the jump to play in the men's B state championship just to see where they're at. I hope they don't get too swing happy and forget how to control that a little more in a couple weeks come GSL, but we applaud them for making the trip out this weekend. As you can see, it is pool play to start, so I think that's a good thing for the teams. They're each going to get 2 games off the jump before they go into bracket. MAJ, the top-ranked team, will take on BCO, so they'll get a quick look at the Bryce gang. Standard Plumbing, not their best. Last time we saw them, they fell victim a couple times to the SOBs. No SOBs to slow them down this time. Classy back in town after giving up about 100 runs in Washington. They will get Standard Plumbing early on. MAJ will then take on Classy, and Standard Plumbing will shift over to BCO. So no MAJ Standard matchup in the early going. They tend to rival up late in tournaments. We will see if all roads lead to a state championship matchup, as there's a look at the bracket starting at 12:30. 2 versus 3, 1 versus 4. Real easy for you to take a look at. Winners advance to 3:30. Championship game at 6:30 p.m. Best of luck to those squads. Be out there to check things out for sure. All right. They're packed in the E division to the point where the E division actually has more teams than the D division for the U-Trip State Championship tournament. We'll see if that carries the same weight come GSL, but taking a quick look, we got the Rejects taking on FaZe, with the winner of that taking on Pluckett. Bring the Smoke. You got what you want, Zane. Bring the Smoke will take on Wasted Potential. 8 a.m. matchup, with the winner of that taking on CT Athletics, playing some good ball heading into states. Hurt Feelings will make a double. Winner of that will take on the Sandlot. The Dugout Daddies will take on DJP, with the winner of that game taking on, I'm going to call him number 1. I've been back and forth on the 2 top teams in the E division. This is where it makes sense to establish yourself as the top dog. FAAFO, 12:30. They will make their debut in the state championship tournament to try to win the whole damn thing. Bottom half of the bracket, not too far away, is the other number 1. Drip having a banner year. They will get the winner of the Aztecas and Mad Hatters. La Raza taking on the Wolf Pack. That sounds like something straight off of WCW Monday Night Nitro. ADK versus Los Guerreros. Hit Happens will take on Toy Temple, with the winner of that getting the AZ Outlaws. And Payback down there at the bottom will take on DND, with the winner of that game getting Outcast, the men's State Championship game, into Sunday. And I think that time is wrong. I think it was actually 2 p.m., the scheduled time of that championship game, or maybe that's the time of the IF game. But shout out to the E division. I mean, here in the last couple of years, there's been conversation about getting rid of the E division altogether. Now the E division is making the most money, as they've got more teams going here at the end of the year than the D division, and 2 very, very gifted teams at the top. Who's my pick to win it all? Stay tuned. We will get into that a little bit later on in the show. We head over to the women. The women not really having it like they have. I mean, I was gone for a few months, and I kept hearing, the women's program is starting to nosedive a bit, and I guess we're seeing it. 5 teams in the BC. Now, the BC usually isn't that crowded anyway. They do got the 5. Lady Strive, they were a number 2 team in the women's D division last year. They will take on the Rowdy Beavers, who were in contention for state titles a year ago. The winner of that game will get Ascension, who has the early bye, and they'll wait on the opposition at 9:30. Also in the 8 o'clock hour is a big one. Double-digit champion a year ago, those Savage Beasts that they are. Savage will take on Sick Not Weak, who were the darlings of Arizona a year ago in Triple Crown season, and they come looking to do it again this year. We'll take a look at some rosters here for the ladies. No disrespect to the other divisions, but yeah. Okay, let's go back here. I was already taking a look at Chosen Iron. Why? We'll get back to that later. This is where we need to be. All right, women's BC. Again, we still got results from last weekend. We got predictions coming up, MVP shout-outs, still plenty more. But let's take a look at what's coming up here this weekend. Lady Strive. Again, I've been missing in action for a while, so I haven't been as in touch with the ladies. Let's get you caught up before we get out there this weekend. Lady Strive, 13-6 in class, so not a bad record, just not a lot of action this year. Their last time out, 1-3 at SummerSlam. Prior to that, though, at GSL Spring Slam, they won their first title of the year. Let's see if the roster is all loaded up. Of course, roster's locked tomorrow on Friday. Where are we at right now? Jackie Guardo, Delana Langley, tough. Ariana Osorio, tough. Ro Parker, Caitlin Wood, Lucinda Gomez, Jessica Mercado, Danielle Aldana, Sammy Hernreich, Brandy Peterson, Gina Golden, Vanessa Martinez, Danielle Abbott. Good squad. A lot of names that we're used to from a year ago. I just saw my man Tanner Tripp's name pop up on the page. I hope you're getting healthy, brother. We miss you. Hopefully we'll be able to lock down some rings for you this weekend. Tough team. They got very, very gifted defense. Some studs, especially that middle infield. When they show up, Langley, Peterson, Goulden on the hot corner, Aldana holding it down at first base. They can all hit. Sammy Hernreich, banner year for her last year. What a breakout year for her on the mound. Tough lefty, cornhole professional, bowling stud as well. She's going 30 strikes. C division, they look for strikes. So it becomes a different game, no doubt, but they're still winning games. They're still winning games at close to a 70% clip. We'll see how they come out looking in this one. Previous matchups, they got romped on by the Beavers. Close one with Savage. Reminds you of last year. I'm not sure what happened to She Wild. And another close one with Savage. Sick Not Weak, 16-5. Those type of scores, a little concerning. We'll see, again, full roster for Coach Humble and his crew, and they can be very, very dangerous. Rowdy Beavers, we just saw they can put up big numbers against good teams. They have not played a ton this year either. 6-9, though scrappy, except for this 30-3 thing, but that was against a conference team. ATO, who we don't see on any of the brackets this weekend, close matchup. She Wilden beat them. Sick Not Weak. They tend to play them pretty close. These ladies, well known, they have the most fun of any team in the women's division, in my opinion. They definitely get out there and have a good time. Led by Janessa Martinez, but I like to call her Janessa Rosales. Shout out to my man Slick Rick. They better put some respect on your name. Christina Moore, Ashley Russell, Lindsey Vollmer, Letty Legend, Kat Silva, Des Corso, Bang Torres, Anita Loaiza, Alyssa Carpio, Ashley Duran, Brianna Carpio, Brianna Ott, Kennedy Bart, April Durant. That's a squad. That is a squad, and there might be more down there. And Manny Lopez as well. You can't forget Manny Lopez, one of their studs on the mound. This is a squad top to bottom. I love the look of this team. Maybe that's why there's less teams, because the good teams are packing 15, 16 deep. Showing up, we'll see if they show up. How many fireballs between games? That always tends to be a big factor with this team. And I ain't talking shit because they tend to throw me 2 or 3 of them myself. I love these girls. Good-looking squad, though, going in to Saturday. Best of luck to everybody's favorite, the Rowdy Beavers. Winner of that game will get Ascension. I don't know how they got a bye. 5-12 on the year, 0-1 in class. They are technically a B team. Again, I heard a lot of things about travel not being what the women thought it was going to be this year, but we'll see how that plays out. Destiny, Apodaca, Kat Banks, Ariel Bochniak, Spicy P, Zarina Lorta, Amber Anderson, Kaylani Felix, Gillette Paredes, Janice Garcia, Amber Gill, Angelica Gonzalez, Kaylee Copeland, Kristen Maestas. Chris, okay. I ain't seen Chris in a minute. And Patricia Gallegos. Another stacked squad. Makes a bit of sense. And again, it's a shame we didn't get to see more of these ladies rocking this year. Ariel Bochniak, pound for pound, I'll put her up against anyone in the infield. Her glove work is disgusting. Amber Anderson is definitely going to keep you off balance on the mound. Always having a good time holding it down. They also got a couple other studs up the middle in Lorta, Felix. Got some pop from the likes of Amber Gill, Gillette Paredes, Copeland's, on the rise as well. Patricia can hit the ball deep. Kat Banks, another good pitcher for him. She can hit the ball. They got some studs. I know they used to have who is missing that stands out to me. I can't remember. Off the top of my head, I tend to forget certain names, but this is a good-looking squad as well. And again, very capable pitchers, good change of pace duo, and strong middle infield. I like what Big Al's got working with these ladies. Of course, I can't forget my girl Spicy P as she rounds back into form after having the baby. Ascension looks good. They look like a tough out this weekend, though they haven't played a ton. They seem to be a team in that women's field. Obviously, you don't want to sleep on. Let's look at Savage. Danielle Stevens, that's exactly who I was thinking about because I just saw her the other day. So no Stevens on the roster. I know she was saying something about going out of state. And that is exactly the point that I'm getting to here in a few moments. Let's look at Savage. Let's see how different they look from the squad that rolled through the women's D division last year. So many huge showdowns with Lady Strive on their way to a very historic year for them. Nicole Gendron, not familiar. Andy Olson, I am familiar. Very, very good. Rachel Owens, we know. Leah Henry, KB, Stephanie Castro, Jacqueline DiPaola, Dirty Sanchez went over to Savage. That seems like the perfect team name for Dirty Sanchez to be a part of. No Amber. Oh, good God. All right. Shelly Arnold, the ageless wonder. That is Shelly Arnold. Heather Buckley went to them too. Danny Gonzalez. Wow. All right. Kat Irwin, Jen Adams. I do remember her making the jump. Mary Ramirez, not familiar with unless that is Mary Morton. Sarah Quiros and Yaz Rivera. Okay. So you got speed. I mean, a lot of depth again with this team. We know about Savage and everything that they did last year. They got some huge additions to this team. I think because of the fact that she bounces around a bit, because again, I mean, the stability in the division isn't the best, but I will put Heather Buckley in my top 10 women's players in Arizona. She is so good, and I almost feel like she's underrated because she moves around a bit, as does her man Carl Ham. They're both fantastic ball players, but they don't care about getting a jersey with their name on it. They're going to show up and show out when need be. But that is a damn good ball player joining this squad. Along with the likes of Rachel Owens and Andy Olson, type players that I feel are like 5-tool stars. Swiss Army, they can do a bit of everything. So I love that ad for KB squad and all the other pieces as well. Again, Andy Olson, huge breakout year last year. Rachel the year before that, and she continues to shine. And then a bunch of other names. Danny Gonzalez is a strong vet to have. Jen Adams, Morton, Shelly Arnold again. Shelly Arnold. We don't talk about women's ages up in here. Shelly Arnold is something special and still going strong at her age. Middle is closed with Shelly. So good luck to Savage here this weekend. Triple Crown season has been good to them in the past. But again, this is a team that probably won like 50, 60 games last year. According to this, they have played 21 total games. Moving up. Yeah, it changes a lot of things in the softball world. Sick, not weak. 11-5, 19-13 overall. So again, they haven't even gotten to play that much this year. Let's see what they're working with. Peyton McNabbie, Danielle Parlich, Tatum Preckle, Ariel Rico, Claire Watkins, Maddie Meraki, Brittany Chacon, Yolanda Ferios. Is that Flo? Oh, Flo. We haven't seen a lot of Flo in the last couple of years. That's a damn good ball player. Watch out. Paige Salazar, Claire Villar, Mrs. Superstar, Urs Nurse, Charlie Ramirez, Jules Thrash went to Sick Not Weak. Brandy Ayala. Okay, forget about the Mary Morton thing because there's Mary Morton, so I'm not sure who Mary Ramirez is. Samantha Soto, Dad said you ain't playing, and Tara Curtis. Yeah, very, very loaded team. We'll see how the pitching goes. I mean, I think you're in pretty damn good hands with Charlie Ramirez. She established herself atop the Arizona women's field as one of, if not the best, pure pitcher this past year. Again, I haven't seen a ton this year. I can't imagine her game is falling off any. Tatum can do it all. Claire, hit machine. Urs packing that power. Jules, if they can find a home for her in the lineup when she's not pitching, she still smashes the ball. No Samantha Soto would be a big loss to them. I know she is carrying and discussion about whether she's getting on the field or not. You ain't playing. And then Tara Curtis, again, one of those all-around superstars. They got a really, really stacked team. I like the look of Sick Not Week going into this weekend. I like the look of Sick Not Week more times than not going into action with that squad. For Coach Victor Soto, Vic took over this year, so if he's saying baby girl ain't playing, baby girl ain't playing. But, you know, hey, y'all want to make babies? Sit on the sideline. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to the Varela family as they prepare to bring a little one into the world here a little bit down the line. I'll let you know who is going to win the state championship here in a little bit. The women's D, we've talked about at great length when I actually am on the mic. And they only have 5 teams this weekend. Now I'm going to get into why. Reno. I've not been there. I want to go. I can't go because I'm always working. You know why? Because we do this tournament the same weekend that they do their tournament out there. We should. The next 2 weekends, we've got respectfully not bad tournaments, but like there's like an all-nighter next week that could have been this state championship that week, and all of our people are at home. You know, shout out to our directors. I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but I think scheduling should be more flexible in times like this. Whatever the Boneyard, I believe it's called, that is a huge tournament. That is a very, very popular tournament, and a lot of our talent is going out there instead of playing in a state championship tournament. That speaks to, I mean, sometimes you want to go to a tournament and just flat out have fun and just enjoy a weekend, a break away from it all, maybe a little bit of cooler weather. You know, and again, it ain't with the intent to piss nobody off. We need to reschedule states next year. We need to not compete with a huge name tournament that is 1 or 2 states away, because we're losing that battle. We have 5 D teams, and none of them by the name of the Lady SOBs, who are clearly the number 2 ranked team in the state. So we definitely lose out as a whole, because there's a lot of guys that are not going to be there. I think the men's SOBs probably would have played in the BC if it was not the same weekend as the Boneyard. The Lady SOBs definitely would have played. We would have definitely had more teams. We saw earlier the likes of Amber Anderson, Danielle Stevens, 2 very, very good players at our women's BC level. They're going there instead. We got to figure it out. We're losing out on good teams, good ball players, because they prefer to go to another tournament to have a good time. And from what I hear, it's a damn good time. So it's unfortunate. But I really, and again, I know our schedule comes out at the beginning of the year for the entire year. Use a pencil. We got to be able to erase every once in a while and make some changes. Several Sick Not Week dudes are going to be, yeah, we could have did ours next weekend. We could have all been out in Reno having a good ass time. And our state championship would have been even better a week from now. Go out there, have your fun, be hungover for a few days, and then get some water back in your system for the end of the week, and let's have states next weekend instead of the all-nighter. That's just me thinking outside the box, because what could have been is not. Pro West will take on Venom in the opener. The winner of that will get Lady TGF, who is playing, but I can't wait to look at their roster because they got a lot of women part of that crew that might be headed out the Reno as well. So did they find some reinforcements? We'll see. Vendetta will take on Nasties. Vendetta's been a solid number 3, got themselves a couple titles this year. Let's go and see who is in town and who's going to be playing in this tournament come this weekend. Switch that. And we'll go look at Pro West first of all. 7-28, growing pains for a new team. Lauren Berg, Marissa Lopez, Mercedes Lopez, Jessica Montiel, Brianna Poole, Jules Salazar, Mackenzie Whitehair, Miranda Hershey, Fabi Stratton, Ashton Holiday, Lindy Summers, Mariah Alejandro, Mia Lopez, Monique Lopez, Kaylee Hunsinger, wow, Alexis Alejandro, Nadine Escobar, Lady Pat Hester, Mrs. Pat Hester to be, or did they already get there? We'll leave that alone. What up, Nadine? All right. Yeah, it's been a growing pains type of season for this team, but I did hear that they're coming in with a little, 4th place not that long ago, 2-2, a little something to build on. We'll see how it looks this weekend. Nasties is in the field. They lost to them by 2, a free agent team. They hung tough with TGF. Okay. All right. We'll see what they can do out there this weekend. Venom, not as familiar with this name. 8-10, so around 500, competitive-ish. McKenna Castle, Haley Conway, Ashlyn Irvin, Valeria Lopez, Tara Neasy, Alexis Smith, Jennifer Tilley, Kiera, can't say it, Heather Shaw, Reyes Tom, Haley Weber, Jenna Huey, Caitlin Tomacheski, Gina Tarazi, Sierra Myers, Tina Henry, Christina Valenzuela. Can you see my cursor? I'm circling that name. Only thing that really stands out here, with no disrespect to the rest of these ladies, I don't know many of them. I know about Sierra Myers, and from what I keep hearing, Sierra Myers is next. Very, very talented young lady. Shout out to my man Tim Myers. He's got himself a damn good one in the family tree. The ball jumps off her bat, y'all. So I hope to get a chance to see her swing it this weekend. Very, very talented young lady, no doubt. The women's game is high on Sierra Myers. Vendetta is coming, and many people believe they can compete for a state championship. Kelsey Cobb, Caitlin Frost, Mariana Martinez, Crystal Mickelson, Rhea Murphy. She was with Lady SOBs, but I guess she's not making that out-of-town trip. Corbin Newhouse, Taylor Shue, Autumn Valley, Liz Wasser, Mama B, Kara Patterson, Krista Ramirez, Vi Palacios, Lindsay Clay, Cassandra O'Brien, Frankie De La Cruz, Chantel Whitmore, Kristen Waldron. Solid team. They've been playing really good ball second half of the year. I'm guessing this is Crystal Archuleta, who is a very, very underrated outfielder. I think as far as pure routes in the outfield, she's among the best in that women's D division from what I've seen. Future is bright for her. Mama B is always going to give you a great chance to win a game on the mound. between her and LJ Clay. And they've got some scrap within there, some scrappy ball players in there as well. Mariana, a lot of success as well. Look out for Vendetta, 23-14, second place at SummerSlam, Spring Slam. They won it all. I thought I heard they won twice this year. Oh, yes, they also won the Queen of the Diamond back in February. So that's what they are looking at. And Nasties will be their opposition, 16-19 for them. A couple third place finishes here recently, third place in 3 of their last 4 tournaments. Who they rocking with? Jocelyn. They got some names. Rosangelica Cruz Norder. I need Corey helping me on the show. He can read these names. Flor Olgan. Michaela Quintana. Laura Rodriguez. Tony Romero. Amanda Schaefer. Caitlin Stott. Lisa Young. Angelica Dominguez. Joni Gillette Yazzie. I know the name like Yazzie. Deanna Bazrock. Marissa Peraza, Carissa Allen, Samantha Ortega, Kayla Valenzuela, Audrea Chavez, Natalia Vallarta. Y'all got some names, bro. I'm going to try to avoid commentating y'all games because I'm pissing off your whole family. Like the whole team. These are some tough names. Tony Romero. I need a whole lineup of Tony Romeros and Lisa Youngs. Very easy names to say. I'm just teasing with y'all. Good luck this weekend. 16-19, unladylike. No unladylike this weekend. They're probably traveling. Another team that's played decent ball this year. So again, they've beaten the Lady SOBs this year, and that is number 2 in the state. Scrappy. We'll see how it goes. Everyone is chasing TGF. They've got the most championships in Arizona softball this year. With 6, there's the proof. And if it ain't first, it's second. Forget about this 5th. I don't know what the hell happened there. Everything else this year has been first or second place for Rad Squad. Very, very good team. They probably left everyone on the roster. Who knows how many of them are going to be there because, again, this is a Reno type of crew. Mackenzie Dallas, Sabrina Gamboa, stud. Melissa Handorf, Sierra Maganellis, J-Rod, Amber Smith, Alicia Tulsa, Adri Vidal, Marley Piper, Bailey Alsop, Jenna Holland, Sierra Munoz, Cassie Rossing, Ronnie Fettis, Alexis Gonzalez, Gabby Stacy, Jill Friedman, Stephanie Myrick. You see why? Look, there's 18 names on there, and they could split this team up into groups of 9, and they would probably finish first and second place in the state. As far as women's D is concerned, this is a loaded squad. Now, some of these ladies were on that why not team. There's pieces from other spots. I'm not sure what's going on, but this is the time of the year where you start plucking good players off of bad teams and you make a super team. If TGF was able to get better, then we're going to be watching their games at Worlds because this team has dominated Arizona thus far. Again, with respect to Vendetta, with respect to Lady SOBs, this is the standard here this year. This is last year's Savage, and they like to have a good time. Now, again, how many of them are going to be in town is the big question this weekend, but I think that's why they went and got some reinforcements. But, yeah, this is the team to watch out for. I remember this time last year, there were conversations during states about this new team that was forming. This is that team. What a first year it has been for sure for this team. A name that doesn't get said as much, and again, I'll take some of the blame because I haven't been around as much this year. Sabrina Gamboa has had a big year, and along with her man, Vaughn Washington, that is a power couple that no one was talking about. Get to know them. badass duo right there for sure. So they deserve their flowers for the year that they've had. Bailey also, huge end of last year, and she's carried that into this year, swinging the bat very, very well. Cassie Rossing, of course, has become a superstar in the Arizona women's game, shining all over the place, including at the Challenge Cup as that women's D team went on to win it all. And Fast Cast was a big, big reason behind that. And Stephanie Myrick, power. Jill Friedman can do some things. Gabby Stacy, so smooth with the glove, can hit the ball nicely as well. Ronnie Fettis, though, you've got arguably the best pitcher in the women's D division, hands down. Dominant on the mound, shuts it down, can hit to the right side. My sis can do a whole lot of things out there to help a team win. Very, very valuable free agent this time last year, moved around a couple pieces. She wanted a steady home. She found one. And now TGF is at the top of the Arizona women's ladder. So shout out to my girl, Ronnie Fettis and company. Can't forget about Mackenzie Dallas up here. Excellent, excellent glove for this team. I don't even know how many tournaments they've been at full strength because they've got so many good pieces and they've been very, very busy at times. But if they come together for Triple Crown season, watch out. 19-6 in their last 25, 8-2 their last 10, and winning 4 of their last 6 tournaments, including the last 2. They're coming in hot, but are they in town? Can't wait to see how that looks. Only 5 teams, though. Very, very disappointing. But again, I'm going to look at some of these comments because I'm sure some of you have probably been answering on some of the same things that I've been answering on about this damn Reno tournament. But let's go back, and then we'll get into some predictions, and we'll talk about this past weekend. If you don't spread events out, see teams aren't going to sign up. March, April had a huge cash event, Spring Worlds. 2 C teams played. You're absolutely right. Again, teams play good to get bumped, and then situations present itself. And the C teams, if you don't have enough C teams, then you got to combine them with the Bs, and then the Cs don't want to play with the Bs, and then teams start to break up because some of those C players want to go be chips on D teams, and that is how you lose a division. But that is a collective for the entire year. What's happening this weekend is based around 4 letters, R-E-N-O. Reno is killing this tournament this weekend, and this happens every year. GSL is going to be a different story, but UTRIP, this happens every year because we schedule on the same weekend as one of the biggest tournaments on the West Coast, and that's just what's going to happen. Rainey is in the house. We'll talk about him and some of his friends here in a few minutes. Common sense isn't common sense anymore. It happens. Tea times. Yeah, go ahead, Pine. I saw you playing catcher a couple weeks ago. I don't know if softball's your game anymore. Just kidding. I love you. C teams are definitely not to blame. That's just my opinion. Tanner rounds third. Looking at no. That Tanner got hurt going to first, but can't wait to see my man's back out there. Danielle Stevens, we talked about it. So good, but so missing because along with Amber Anderson, they are Reno bound. Spicy might be on the mound. Nah, I don't want to see that. Jules Thrash, solid 2 on the mound and hits bombs. We know all about that. So much power shown last year for Savage. And now with Sick Not Week. Several Sick Not Week dudes are going to be in Reno as well. Yeah, they'll probably be wearing their rings. Let's see. Ronnie Fettis, Sean and I will be at the Boneyard. It's a night tournament in the hottest part of the year. I hear you, Trish. Reno dates for the next year literally get released a week after, like no excuse. And again, this is I don't want to say it's dangerous territory, but I should shut my mouth because again, this isn't with the intent to piss off anybody, but if we want these events to be better, and if this is said that on July 20th, next year's Boneyard date is going to be released, we should not be having a Triple Crown event on that date. We just shouldn't. Like, I don't care who's listening, because it's not said to be disrespectful. We're not going to compete with that. We might be able to compete with certain things. We're not going to be able to compete with that. We're just not. We're not. Okay. Reno is always the weekend after 4th of July. Never changes. Thank you for that, Poe. Andrew Garcia, what up, bro? All right, enough of that. Let's get into last weekend because we did have some good things going on then. Let's get out of this bracket. Women's State Championship, 6 p.m. But let's start with the men's C division, and it's looking like it did last year. Sick Not Weak is once again USSSA Men's C State Champions. They did not. Now, they weren't a D team. We won't get into all of that bump talk and all, but they did win Far West Regionals and one of the 2 state championships last weekend, so it kind of makes you wonder, but they're still in the C division. They did win a state championship. They go 4-0 on the tournament, and they mollywopped a few people along the way. 23.2 runs scored per game while allowing 10.5. Young Vets gave them a little bit of a fight early on. 26-19 was the final. Raleigh White in the second game, 19-15, and then they were warmed up. SOBs was supposed to be a big challenge in this thing, but the King Seat finished 20-5. And in the ship, Raleigh White got themselves a rematch. They probably wish they didn't. 28-3 was the final. And Sick Not Weak stands alone at the top once again. Aaron Boyd, 928. He was joined at that number by Buddy Brownlee. Tavo Ramirez, 833. Stephen Rainey, caked up and all, 833. Brandon Boyle, 714. Trevor Fink, 714 as well. 6 players right there, 700 or better clip. That's going to win you a whole lot of ball games. We've seen that time and time again from this great squad. 4-0 on the year or on the tournament. 36-7 on the year. This their 4th championship winning performance. Raleigh White finishes in 2nd place. The SOBs finish in 3rd, and Caribbean Oasis, the artist formerly known as Figga, finishes in 4th. MVP awards were handed out. We saw these gentlemen early on in the show. The offensive most valuable player is the great Aaron Boyd. Brandon Boyle holds it down in center field. Great jumps on the ball, sacrifices his body. He can hit quite a bit as well. That was enough for him to be crowned the tournament's most valuable player. Congratulations to these 2 gentlemen right there. Can you believe a couple years ago, Travis Johnson did not pick Aaron Boyd for the Men's D Challenge Cup team? And it was such a travesty that Bob had to create a 2nd Challenge Cup team for Aaron Boyd to be selected to that team. And then our Challenge Cup team had a better record than the 1st Challenge Cup team that didn't pick Aaron Boyd. And now Travis Johnson coaches conference. Shout out, though, to Aaron Boyd and Brandon Boyle on their accomplishments this past weekend. And let's take a deeper look inside the Empire, developing under Coach Billy Stedman. Again, their 4th title of the year, GSL SmackDown, U-Trip Early Bird NIT, They are the GSL World Champion, Spring World Champion, and now USSSA State Champion. They're looking to add some more rings to their collection, but Worlds high on their radar. Can sick not weak make a run? Arizona had a team do pretty good last year in the D division at GSL. Do we have one this year? This team could be a force to be reckoned with in a couple months. We'll head over to the D division. Chosen Iron, once again, get the job done. The U-Trip Men's D State Champ, and they took an early L, and it does not deter Brett Howard and his crew. They come away with yet another title and some interesting numbers to follow for these boys here in a moment. 7-1, though, on the event. 14.5 runs scored per game, 12.63 allowed. So they were tested quite a bit in this event. Only the run differential less than 2. One big loss, though, is the big reason behind that. They defeated the 928 boys 12-9. They defeated on a sick one 25-9, but then they lost to the Chino Tropics 21-6. Arguably their biggest loss in their 2 years in operation. Turned up from there. Choney Water, who is a very impressive new name this past weekend. 18-15, though, Chosen Iron got them. Rematch with the Tropics not long after. 13-11 was the final. Don't want to disrespect the Brew Crew because they were up there and I skipped over them. They got beat too. 15-13 was the final. Into the ship where they took on the Road Warriors, who found the way to control their home runs a little bit better, but you got double dipped. 12-10 was the final in game one. 15-14 was the final in the if game. And let's talk about it. Luke Curry, 730 to lead the way. Ben Drent, 703. Chad Stalter, 700. Ruby Franco, 620. EK, 620 as well. Always some good words from their leader, Brett Howard. We'll get to that here in a moment as we turn the page and we look at the crowned MVPs. The offensive MVP was Chad Stalter. The tournament MVP was their pitcher, Austin Fide. My apologies to the runner-ups as I did not reach out to the Road Warriors or to Raleigh White to find out who their defensive MVP was and get their numbers. I knew there was a lot to get into, but my apologies there. Per Brett Howard, can't say enough about Austin Fide. He's been hands down the best pitcher in the division for us. We won 6 games by 3 runs or less, and 5 of them as the away team. Win a coin toss, Brett. That's clutch defense and exceptional situational pitching. Chad walked off Chino on Sunday with a home run to cap a run of 12 straight at-bats without making an out. It was tough to hit in 110 degrees this weekend unless your name was Chad Stalter. So shout out to the Chad coming through big for them. And again, Austin Fide took over the reins this year, and he has done just fine by it. Chosen Iron wins the first leg of the Triple Crown. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second as they go 7-1 on the event, 41-11 on the year. This their 5th title. Road Warriors finishing second. Chino Tropics in contention. Again, I think watch out for them. They might be one of my early favorites for sure in GSL. They finish in 3rd. Choney Water out of nowhere, and I saw them at the all-nighter a couple weeks ago, and I think it's a lot of the dudes from the chiropractic place. I forget the name of them. They got a new name, and David Bates and company. They look good. That team can hit the ball very, very well, and that was out at Victory Lane. So maybe they needed to control their power a little better on the smaller fields at Cactus. But I really think they could be a team to watch out for come GSL in a few weeks. So I like that some new names are popping up in there. The Road Warriors, again, I did not give the Road Warriors a top 4 shot. But I talked a lot about their talent, but I also talked a lot about they don't control their home runs well. I think in a sense they might have quieted some of my noise with a second-place performance, although they got double-dipped. They did show the ability to play deep into this tournament where it was not as favorable for them. That could be very promising for them here in about a month come GSL with that team, so congrats to them. Chosen Iron, though. Going back to last year, and last year they were the Triple Crown winner in the men's E division. They wasted no time putting their stamp on the D division. They have played in 4 Triple Crown events. They have won them all. There has never been an Arizona team to win the Triple Crown in consecutive years in 2 different divisions. Chosen Iron, 1/3 of the way to another crazy statistic. They won 6 titles in all in 2024, 5 of them here in 2025. In their 2 years of existence, 112 wins, 35 losses. They have a win percentage of .762. Brett Howard, what a job leading this crew and always looking to find ways to get better, and they have done a heck of a job. Congratulations to them. We look forward to seeing what's next for the Chosen Empire taking over Arizona men's E and now the men's D divisions. Picks to win it all going into this weekend, and if you remember, your boy did pretty good last weekend. Last week on the show, I picked Chosen Iron to win the men's D. Check. Sick Not Weak to win the men's C. Yes, sir. Who's gonna do it this weekend? I'm trying to go perfect, but this Reno thing might mess up some things for your boy. But let's see what we're working with. First off, in the women's BC, I got Sick Not Weak. Unless Charlie Ramirez is going to Reno, this is my squad. So good on the mound. Tons of great hitters. Again, the dynamic Tatum Prechtel, she can do a bit of everything for this team. I love what they got going on, and I believe that they will get the job done once again this weekend. Sick Not Weak in the women's BC. They're my pick to win the whole thing. In the men's BC, I might be a little partial, but I'm going to go with DTS. Looked really good in the all-nighter a couple weeks ago. Put up over 30 runs a game. I don't know if any of our games got into the 5th inning. The boys are cooking offensively. I could name every guy in the lineup with pride because these boys is on fire. But shout out to Davion because he batted 1,000. So he was the only one to do that in the last tournament. Real good stuff. Corey holds it down on the mound. The middle is closed. And you don't have to make too many mound visits because Corey's saying all those things to himself in between each hitter anyway. I loved being on the same team with him years ago as a player, and I love being able to be on the coaching staff with him on the mound this year. Shout out to my man, Corey Miller, continuing to do great things. I think we get it done this weekend. I think Standard Plumbing remembers who the hell they are, and they'll be there with us at the end. And it should be a really good showdown. Probably should have looked at those rosters with you guys because you guys might not be as familiar with our higher level talent. In fact, why not? Because you never know what they got going. So let me change gears for a sec. Let me go back, and I want to look at the men's. There's only 4 teams, so let's go take a look at that because we're nearing the end of the show anyway. Respect the BCO. Let's pull it up. Again, they're joining us in the 4-man field. This is a team, 32-19. Again, they are a D team, though, but they are coming off of a title, and they are taking the jump to see what's up, here this weekend. Dylan Barella, Hayden Bryce, Hunter Bryce, Shane Dahl, Connor Gardner, Bennett Wagner, Michael Wagner, Sauce Bravo, Christian Vianney, Rhino, Brandon Dawson, McKay Nelson, Brad Dahl, Ryan Baldonado, Nick Bryce, and Papa Rick Bryce. What stands out here? I mean, this is a solid little crew. I think they could definitely hold their own, even in the C division, getting a few more bombs to hit, and I'm sure they're going to take that jump next year. There was a lot of talk early in the year about Ryan Baldonado, definitely one of the best power hitters in all of Arizona. This is UTRIP. We will hand you guys a few more home runs for sure, but I can't wait to see what this team does in GSL states a few weeks from now. But we didn't talk about them at UTRIP State, so it might not have been the best showing. But again, this is a very, very solid crew. Connor Gardner, young superstar on the rise. Rhino gives them a good chance to win on the mound. He hits the ball real nicely as well. Papa Rick's going to throw some too. Brad Dahl, really, really good hitter, underrated ball player. Hayden and Hunter Bryce, very, very tough duo right there. And, of course, we know about the Bravo family. They've been killing it for quite a while. So, good little crew. We'll see if they can pull off an upset or two in the BC field this weekend. We'll just take a look at our squad here. 16-6, 5-1 in class. All right. Chacon, Troy Kowalski. Santana's on the roster. Okay. Noel Rodriguez, Rafa Herrera, JC Garcia. JC's from Utah, but I really like that kid. Good pop off his bat to the opposite field. Pretty versatile young man. Trujillo, definitely one of my favorite hitters that I've ever seen. Cam Ross, Matty Cole, CM, Tanner Tripp. We're going to miss him. Davion King, Kendall Kaiser. They call him KC. Tyler George, TG. We missed you last tournament. Andrew Garcia. What? Okay. And, of course, our team captain, Ray Camacho. He's definitely that huge voice that can do a bit of everything on the field. He'll talk the talk and back it up as well. So love having Ray Camacho in our dugout. He can definitely ground some guys and has a very, very unique way of picking people up. Hella ball player, hella leader as well. Standard Plumbing. 11-14 on the year. That record it's just too much talent on this team. Let's see. Bo Cuthbertson, Danny Grosvenor, Brandon Cox, Ant Alejandro, Skylar Cohn, Dominic Bravo, Christian Johnson, Matty Barnes, Zach Ketcherside, Michael Joseph, AJ Titano, Willie Clark. I don't know what to say about the record. I'm sure they've had guys in and out at different points of the year. I really like the squad that I get to run around with Cholo. But this is a lot of the guys that, as I've been doing my thing on the mound, I came up calling their names and just kept saying, these are the type of guys that are going to be next. And shout out to the Ketcherside family for putting together a juggernaut crew. Again, the numbers haven't shown it as much this year. Do not be surprised if this team finds a way to win the rings this weekend. Very, very deep crew. And it's not a team that's going to kill themselves on home runs early. They can spray to all fields. And, of course, one of the best defensive pitchers we got in the state in Catch. So, going to be a tough out this weekend for sure. And I think everybody's going to take their best shot at Standard Plumbing. And we'll see how that turns out. Classy. Um, Classy took a trip to the CD duel, and I think it was unlimited home runs. The problem was it was unlimited home runs for the other teams as well. And they hit quite a few. Um, Talented team, though. They got some gifted dudes. They're scrappy. I mean, as you can see, they played us to a close one, lost by 2, lost by 1, the standard. Yeah, I mean, they've been competitive. I mean, not so much here against Raleigh White. But let's see what their roster looks like going into the weekend. Justin Miller, Bo Poverosa, Vlad Veras, Chase Frelick, Dom Rodriguez, Chris Scott, Ruben Rivas, Brian Munoz, Cody Aquilina, Matt Fox, Ryan Adams, George Fierro, Kyle Smoot, Cole Frelick, Austin Browning, and Marky Olivero. Tough crew, in my opinion. A lot of good ball players on this team. Haven't seen as much of Bo this year because of his baseball commitments, which is always the case. But then he shows up in the summertime and he makes web gems and hurts a lot of feelings. So, again, despite their record and recent drubbings, and they are 0-10 in their last 10 games, Classy's been around for a while. So we don't want to sleep on them. I think they could be a team you don't want to face in this tournament. So we will see how that plays out for them. But DTS is the favorite. In the women's D, again, TGF is going to be missing a lot of pieces. They have the most championships in the state of Arizona this year. It's hard to pick against them, but it's going to be really interesting to see how many of them are not there. Yeah, I mean, I think they've earned the right to be the favorite in any tournament the rest of the way. But, it's just going to be interesting to see who's on that field with the depth of the roster. Who's headed to Nevada and who's going to be here is going to play a big part. Vendetta could sneak in and spoil the party, but I'm going with TGF to extend their lead over everybody for championships here in 2025. And a shocking pick in the men's E division. I think that FAAFO has been the best U-Trip team. I think that DRIP has been the better GSL team. Both of them 5-time champions this year. I went back and I definitely broke it down because I don't like to be wrong. But I feel like this team is the better team for the format this weekend. If DRIP can find a way to get it done, so be it. If it's with no disrespect to the E division, I mean, shout out. You guys have 25 teams, the most of any division in states this year thus far. So good shit. I'll be there on Sunday for you guys to finish off the tournament live. No worries. If any team other than DRIP or FAAFO wins the championship, I will be as shocked as I've been in all my years doing this. Just based on the head-to-heads and the information that I got to read, catch up on some things, it's been very lopsided as far as those two teams against the world. But hey, if it makes for good bulletin board material, I'm with that. If y'all go out there and beat a team like that and come talk some shit to me, I can handle that. I can appreciate that. That's why I do what I do. I love to see upsets every now and again. I just don't see it happening this weekend. FAAFO, my pick to win it all. But if it isn't them, it will be DRIP. I hope that it's both of them. For everything that they've had this year, I have not been on the mic to see those two teams in the end of the tournament. Something tells me Sunday afternoon, I'm going to get to see that for the first time. But right now, I already see Ben Ochoa. I see Ben looking at things. Prove me wrong. We'll see how it goes. But DRIP, FAAFO, Co-number ones going in the States this weekend. You love to see it, and I hope we do get a chance to see it go down. And that, my friends, is all we got for today. Let me look at some more comments. But again, if you're not familiar with the faces here, left to right, we got Chad Stalter, the offensive men's D MVP. Austin Fide was the tournament MVP. Aaron Boyd was the men's C offensive MVP. And Brandon Boyle is your men's C most valuable player. Did we get any new comments? There's no reason to be on base 92%. I like it, but Alejandro, you always hit at a high clip, so you might be that guy this weekend 92% of the time. We'll find out. Stephen Rainey is always talking good shit, so you love to see it. Aaron Boyd, he ain't that good. Well, let's see. Everyone knows I cannot win coin tosses, says Brett Howard. But he can win Triple Crown events. No one has beaten a Brett Howard team in the Triple Crown. That's a crazy stat to have, even though it's only been 4. I don't even try unless we want to hit first inning. Look, a lot of people like to hit first. Like, there's been a couple times where I've won the toss and I've selected to be the visiting team, and I went back and I told my team that we lost the toss. I have not done that with the DTS team yet, so Corey, relax. I'm sure he's ready to yell at me, but I have not done that yet. Admittingly so. In a couple years ago with the Tropics, I forget which game it was, but I definitely won the toss and I took visitors. We won the previous game, but I didn't love the way the offense looked, so I wanted us to hit first, and I think we batted around in the first inning, and no one questioned it again. But I think sometimes as a coach, you just got to get that read. If your team is good enough to mash, it don't matter if you got the hammer. You're going to finish the job anyway. So, yeah. I win a lot of coin tosses, too. Troy Kowalski. Let's see. CRQC. That was the team. Yeah. Choney Water. They look a lot better under that name. Brett, start watching U-Trip coin flip wins, and you'll get the hang of it. All right. Ryan Gold. Gang. What? Is it? I haven't heard that in a long time. My bad, Ben. My bad. I'm just calling it how I see it. I was looking at the head-to-heads, and was it a U-Trip event, GSL event? Yeah, we'll see. Why does AZ refuse to follow normal all-tourney rule? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Like, why are we not selecting all-tourney teams? Is that what you're saying? I'm sure he's commented a few more times. Oh, there it is. First gets MVP, defensive MVP, 6 all-tourneys. All right, here's my thought on that. I know that is the standard, and again, I wasn't here. I think that the championship winning team should get MVP, and then I think the coach should get the choice of giving out an offensive MVP or a defensive MVP, and the other one should go to the second place team. Somebody reversed it last year, and I know who it was, and I won't dime them on the show, but it is usually you get the tourney MVP and the defensive MVP, and the coach said, no, I want the offensive MVP, and they gave it to him. You won the tournament. You should pick the one that you want. I didn't have a problem with it at all. But, yeah, and 6 all-tourneys. I don't know why we don't do that, because we used to. There are some tournaments where we do all-tourney, Corey. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to that, but and then second place normally got offensive MVP and 5 all-tourneys. Third got 4 all-tourneys. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that, but that is a very good question, and I will let you ask Bob. I think we take visitors in pool play this weekend. I absolutely agree. I just come out and get them swings and bury an opponent. I mean, I think as a team, we've already shown, you guys have already shown the ability to come back from a huge deficit, a la Signot, or excuse me, SOBs put up, I think, 14 in the first inning, and you guys came right back in the home half of the first and went off. So why not bat first and then see how well you can hold? Just do it from the flip side of it, see how hungry the defense holds. I think it's a good idea, at least for the pool play games, to feel that out and to go from there. So, yeah, good idea. I'll be calling coin tosses probably, so I got you on that. But that's all she wrote, y'all. 1 hour and 25 minutes. I appreciate the comments. And again, I think we're still a few more weeks away from me streaming off of my personal name, because again, I'm streaming off of an old Facebook name, because Facebook will not let me do any live streams for the first 60 days of a new account. So that is why we're doing it a little bit different. I know it's a little confusing, but it's still me. Shout outs again to Chosen Iron and Signot Week. My predicted duo on winning the first leg of the Triple Crown, winning the U-Trip State Championships. There will be live coverage this weekend, but it's going to be tough because, again, as I've told you guys, I am coaching with my B team, so I'll probably go live for our games, but I don't, unless I can do the wireless mic, I won't be commentating. But our championship is at the same time as both of the women's ones, so I don't believe that I'll be live streaming unless it goes to an if game, and that's if we don't go to an if game. And then, of course, Sunday I will be there for the men's E division from their 8 a.m. game to the finish, which will likely be FAAFO versus Drip. That whole division is going to talk shit to me. I'm here for it, though. I appreciate the hell out of you guys spending some time with me on your Thursday night. Get your final names added to the roster. Roster's locked tomorrow, and you know he's probably not going to be adding anyone on Saturday morning. Get it done. You heard it here first. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me, and we will see you at Cactus Yards this weekend. I'm out.